So many of you watching right now have found me on this channel through a Nio Stock video. So guys, here's an update video on Nio Stock. You want to hear my thoughts, and I'm going to share them with you. The stock has dipped around 20% over the last few weeks. It's been cooling down, and this begs the question, is the party over? Many investors like yourself perhaps have unfortunately been left holding the bag here with Nio Stock, and I want to discuss this and I want to address this and kind of give you some food for thought if that is you. And if not, thinking of buying into Nio Stock, you want to listen to this video as well, because I'll share my perspective on Nio going into 2021 and onwards. So guys, I really do hope this video puts you at ease if you are a Nio shareholder. And just so you know, this video is sponsored by DataCamp, but more on that later. So for this video, let's discuss first off, why is Nio selling off? What is going on here? Secondly, has the outlook for Nio changed for 2021? I'm going to share with you a few articles that I came across that really give us an idea of what 2021 looks like for Nio and other EVs. Finally, number 3, what could you do if you're bag holding in Nio stock here today? So guys, get comfy, relax, sit back, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't and you still watch my videos like more than half of you do, and let's get into it. Firstly, why is Nio selling off? So we all know the EV market has been hot. Like, I've not seen a market like this in a while. And pretty much any EV or EV related stock in the market, you throw money at it, it comes out double or triple. And you're like, wow, I'm a genius. I know how to invest in stocks. Stock investing is easy, blah, 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 blah. But guys, it appears the bubble, it's starting to lose a little bit of air right now. There is a little bit of doubt creeping in. Investors are questioning whether this is actually worth investing in, whether the stock is actually going places that people thought it would be. And we really need to talk about this in more detail. So I think there's a couple main reasons that we're really seeing Nio lose some steam here and sell off. Firstly, Nio in 3 months has risen 110%, meaning you have more than doubled your money in 3 months with this stock. But guess what? Stocks move up and down. So Nio's been pretty much moving up for the last 3 months, and it's time for a healthy move down. Now, I don't think it's gonna crash and go down all the way to like $5 a share, something ridiculous like that. But I think a sell-off is warranted, is healthy, and should honestly be expected. Typically, when you see a 10% drop, in most larger companies, you see this, it's a correction. It's healthy, things look good. For more volatile stocks, you see it move more like 20%, sometimes a little higher, 20 to 30%. And that's kind of the range that Nio is in today. So I still would consider this kind of a correction in Nio stock. Now, the other reason I think that we're seeing some selling pressure here with Nio is because of Tesla. Tesla is the leader, guys, in this space. And when it moves up, it pulls other EVs with it. But when it moves down, it drags them down as well. Tesla recently saw a 12% sell-off, and this, in my opinion, contributed to Nio's decline as well. But again, with Tesla, fundamentals still look strong. The stock just been moving up, 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 so it's time for a sell-off. It's time for a cool-off. I was expecting this, and I hope many of you watching my videos understood that this is just what stocks do, and it should have been expected. So from what I see right now, guys, I don't think there's any fundamental reason, I don't see anything at least, that's been causing this sell-off here in Nio. It's just kind of moving with the whole EV sector. It's just kind of selling off, profit taking. People are like, I made double my money in a few months. I'm going to take profits off the table. And right now, just simply put, there are more sellers than buyers in this stock. After 100% move up, 20% move down is not so bad. And if you've gotten into the stock earlier, this is pretty much like a little blip, but nothing really to be concerned about. I'm personally still holding my Nio stock. No plans to sell after this correction or dip or whatever you want to call it. So take that for what you will. But here's the thing. Could we actually sell off and continue going lower? Possibly, but I'll get more into that a bit later. Now guys, let me just take a minute here to thank today's video sponsor, DataCamp. Understanding and analyzing data is important, especially in this day and age when data is the forefront for any industry. 2020 has been the year of data, and this is just the beginning, guys. With DataCamp, you learn data science today and acquire skills to fully take advantage of this new world with over 300 courses and interactive learning experiences. They have video classes with practical exercises and skill assessments to help guide you to becoming an expert with data. The lessons are designed to be short but informative and allow you to really easily digest it. And they want you to be able to learn anywhere, anytime. So you can even access this on your mobile phone. You don't need to have big time commitments to learn a topic like this. They make it easy, they make it simple, and if you're looking for a new skill to learn, this is definitely one to consider in this data-driven world. So guys, if this intrigues you, you want to learn more, check out the description to a link to DataCamp's website. Also, I'll leave it as a pinned comment down there as well. You can subscribe to their monthly service, $25 per month, which is a great price to learn a lifelong skill. And hey, if you're not sure if this would actually be valuable to you, you don't really want to commit until you know there's value here, they offer the first chapter for free for any of their courses, so go check it out. Okay, getting back to Nio here. Quite literally after I finished writing the script and everything and had everything planned out for this video, guys, Nio comes out and surprises me and says, hey, we're going to be offering some more shares. So they're going to be offering 60 million more shares, and this led to around a 4% decline after hours in the stock, and it's essentially Nio diluting their shares, similar to what Tesla did recently. So while this is not good news, I wouldn't really say this is bad news either if you're a long-term investor in Nio. Think about this. When a company hits tough times, what do they need? Capital. When companies are going through some of their, best times in history, what should they do? Raise capital because they are in a position of strength. They're not there to beg for money, take high interest rates and all that kind of stuff. They're like, yeah, our stock is doing well, our company's doing well. Let's just, let's get a little bit of extra cash just in case. That's kind of what Nio is doing here. And I think that, while it may hurt shareholders in the short term, the long-term picture is still good. And I personally like it when businesses that use a ton of cash and need to fund a ton of operations do this, because it helps give me confidence over the long term that the company should be financially stable. Now, even though we saw this dilution, I don't think it's what caused all of this, unless the market was predicting this and drove the sell-off. I don't think it was. But guys, I do expect some short-term pain now with this as the market digests it. 60 million new shares is quite a bit of new shares. So just take that for what it is. Nothing really you can do in this situation. Just have to accept it, and there will be more selling pressure here, at least in the short term. Okay guys, so next, has the outlook changed for 2021 for this company and this industry? So there were a couple of big pieces of news that actually came out, and at first you may think, hey, that probably was what drove this sell-off in Nio. But no, it was quite the opposite. There were very bullish pieces of news with not only Nio, but the industry as a whole. First is an analyst that expects China to see eye-popping electric vehicle demand in the next 2 years. Now, while this rating is mainly directed at Tesla and them raising Tesla's price target to $1,000 per share, they also state that Nio and other Chinese EV players should benefit from this wave of EV adoption expected in China, because they are positioned to keep outputting as many cars as possible to fulfill demand. So this is good news. This tells me that 2021 onwards looking strong, especially in China. Demand is there and people there want EVs. So China's a big market, especially here for Nio, but what about the US? Nio eventually wants to expand. They have an office in the US, and I'm sure they want to start selling cars here as soon as possible. So what does that market look like? Similar to China, the US is expected to see big adoption of EVs in 2021, and this is expected to be quite significant. This graph here shows that 2021 is expected to see a 70% increase year over year over 2020. And while Nio doesn't directly benefit from this yet, because they're not sold here, primarily in China still, it shows us that demand globally is still strong and only getting stronger. So even though Nio may not directly benefit from this today, it should still ride the wave as Tesla stock benefits from this, and Tesla should move higher on this. So if you ask me, what has the news been for Nio the last couple of weeks? It's been bullish, it's been positive, the outlook looks strong. Investors see a very good 2021 for EVs like Nio, XPeng, Li Auto, Tesla, insert favorite EV stock here. So this is definitely not what's been causing a sell-off in the stock. Now here's the thing, a lot of this is assuming that 2021 is going to be a very strong year for EVs, for the economy in general. 2020, kind of a write-off for most countries, so 2021 is definitely where investors are looking. Although China supposedly has done pretty well in 2020 so far, so hey, it is what it is. But just keep that in mind, a lot of this is on the assumption that 2021 is a stronger year in general for the economy than 2020. Keep in mind also that by 2025, China wants the country to be big on EVs, the biggest in the world in fact, and they forecast for EV sales to rise to 20% of all new vehicle sales. Guys, this is huge, and if their plug-in hybrid sales are any indication, this is a bullish sign for EVs in China. Bottom line, enough said. So now comes the nitty-gritty part. What should you do if you're bag holding in Nio stock? So if you bought Nio in mid to late November, chances are you're probably down in your position and you're wondering if you should just sell and take a loss. So guys, I want to put this disclaimer out there. I'm not a financial advisor, so not financial advice. However, I do know a lot of you have found me on this channel through my Nio videos, so I think it's only right for me to talk about this. Firstly, I'll say this. All hope is not lost. Don't panic. Don't stress out. It's just an investment, keep that in mind. Also, I'll say this, can we go lower? Absolutely. If more bad news comes out, they dilute even more shares or something crazy like that, yeah, the stock could probably sell off a little bit more. It's just how the market works. Now, if we look at their charts and their technicals, I have three main things marked on here. Firstly, the moving averages at the top. You can see Nio pulled back to its 50-day moving average, and it's holding that level so far. We haven't tested it completely, but the stock is signaling that there is support and buyers at this, $40 to $45 price, so that is a good sign. Until we see otherwise, this could very well just hold, continue moving sideways and consolidating. And once we get another catalyst, maybe earnings or some other positive news, the stock rebounds and shoots higher. What I also noticed is towards the bottom of this graph, volume has been drying up, and this tells me that the stock is very oversold and that sellers are slowly exiting here. And this typically is a sign for buyers to come back in at some point soon to push prices higher. So I'll be first to admit, I don't get the $60 billion valuation that Nio has. The market seems to be fine with that right now, but I do think that there is some downside to bring this down more to reality, to make it more realistic for what Nio does today and what Nio is expected to do for the next couple of years. You can't pull forward like 20 years of earnings and revenues and all that stuff and say the stock is justified. I don't know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I think the valuation, yeah, is out of whack, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. But does that mean you should sell the stock off today, guys? I'm personally not, because sometimes valuations just don't make sense. The market can be super irrational, and hey, this may push Nio to $100 billion next year if we continue at this acceleration that we've seen so far in 2020 when it comes to speculative /EV /SPAC I don't know, any of these stocks. They're just doing so well here in 2020, and there's no signs for this to really stop going in 2021. So I don't think it makes sense to sell at a loss, lock in losses when there's still definitely potential upside, even if it's irrational here over the short term. But if you are left bag holding Nio stock, ask yourself this question. Has the outlook or the fundamentals for the business changed since you bought in? You may have bought in like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Has the company done anything differently from that point that makes you want to, change your mind on this as a long-term investment and sell? The answer is no. I think you have your answer on whether you should sell the stock or not. But if your answer is yes, maybe the dilution got to you and you're like, I don't like what they're doing here. I don't appreciate getting diluted. I'm selling. Then hey, it hurts to take a loss, but if you think your capital can be better used somewhere else, then, more power to you. You need to have conviction with your investments, because if you don't have conviction, you're going to get left in a position where a stock you're holding is down 20% like Nio, and you're thinking, should I sell? And the only thing you're basing it on is the stock price. Guys, remember, behind the stock is a business, so understand the business, understand your conviction with the business, and if you're still bullish on Nio for the long term, I don't see why you would want to sell here. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Check out today's video sponsor, DataCamp, in the description down below and the pinned comment as well. And I'd love to hear your thoughts here on Nio going into 2021, whether you think that this stock is just on a temporary correction here and we're going to rebound harder, stronger than ever before and hit $100+ per share sometime next year. I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. Leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to invest positively. Peace.